What is the worst situation that you survived? Serious, I am a retired escort. Not long after getting into the industry I was contacted for a date with a gentleman from out of town. He became a regular, always scheduling an appointment whenever he flew in, and for most part he seemed pretty normal and square and vanilla. At first. After a couple of appointments things start getting weird, and I guess because I was just really young and naive and was just so concentrated on all the things I'd be able to do with all the money I made, it took me a ridiculously stupid amount of time, and probably way more clues than maybe most would have needed before I realized that something was really wrong. The dates start with normal getting to know each other, but after a couple appointments he suddenly tells me he has a preference that his women were quiet. Not just quiet but really silent. Okay, whatever he wishes, I can be silent. Next appointment he tells me same thing, except in addition he tells me he also likes his women to be still. Completely still. Okay, silent and still. Whatever gets his rocks off. No problem. The next couple appointments he asks to put me in restraints, to clothe and unclothe me, to do my hair and makeup, with the expectation that I be entirely silent and still while he's doing everything. At first it didn't seem like a big deal and I was okay with it, but it just started to weird me out, so I decided I wouldn't see him again. When he calls me for another appointment I tell him nah, last time things were kinda weird for my comfort. So he says what if I double the money? For the same thing? I was already making astronomical amounts of money, so double, yeah, I could deal with whatever for double, no problem. The whole time that's how I was able to get through it was by detaching and just focusing on all the things I was gonna do with the money. So I see him again, and he asks if it would be okay for him to call me names and curse at me. I say sure, whatever dude. After that date I decided I didn't really care for the things he said or how I was treated, so no more dates with this guy. Until he calls again and asks if I'd see him for double the last rate. It goes on like this for many more dates and I was so concentrated on the money I was totally missing what exactly it was that really got him off. But when you're getting paid thousands of dollars for just a little bit of time, it was really easy for a very young and naive girl to miss serious clues. After a few more dates he asks me to do something new, so he strips me naked and shoves me outside onto his hotel room balcony and locks the door. It was nighttime so I wasn't terribly concerned about anyone seeing me, but it was the middle of February in the Pacific Northwest, so it was really friggin' cold. After not long I start to get really cold and really annoyed that he's not letting me in, then I just start to get really pissed. Eventually I tell him if he doesn't let me in I'm gonna start screaming for help. I couldn't take the cold any longer. So he finally lets me in and that's when he wants to duck me. No way, dude, I'm outta here, F you. But then he offers to double the money. Again. The amount at this point is just ludicrous. I am such an airhead, sheltered, young, naive, new, I still haven't figured out what his kink was. At some point he asks to bathe me, and then one night he asks me upon my arrival to please use the icebox and to get ice from the machine in the hall and to fill up the bathtub with a bunch of ice. I really expected he must have a large bottle of champagne that just wouldn't fit in the mini fridge. So whatever, okay. But then he asked me to fill it up with cold water and then to get in. I was like, what? I don't want to do that, it's gonna be ice cold. Yeah, nope. But then again he sweetens the money pot, which at this point is already more like the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, just so far beyond what I'd originally started at. So, sure. Okay. Whatever you want, dude. The moment it finally all came together for me, and literally not a moment sooner, was while I was lying naked and totally submerged in a bathtub full of ice water. I remember thinking to myself, seriously, what is it about this that gets him off? All of this, really, what is it? Then, ooh, now I know. He wants to duck a dead girl. Like effing duh. Stupid. I got out of the tub while he was distracted, quietly and very quickly grabbed my purse and clothes, and the money, and then ran for the door. I didn't even bother to put any of my clothes on and just booked it down the hall to the elevator completely naked and in sheer and utter fright. It's hard to imagine things being able to progress much further before finally actually ending up a dead girl. For all I know, he was grooming me to eventually become his dead girl, and my stupid butt almost just blindly walked right into it. This actually happened to me, is not made up.